During a massive storm, when most other birds are looking for shelter, eagles use their large wings to fly above the storm. Today's disruptive marketplace is nothing less than a storm, and we can conquer this storm like eagle by being at the top, that is, be world class. Hi, my name is Vikas Jain, and I have been helping businesses, brands, leaders, and professionals to become world class in their industry. And today, I am going to share the same, that how world class mindset can enable, empower, and accelerate the digital transformation. Best thing about today's marketplace is that there are no rules. There are some niche brand who become world class success. That's the best part. Worst thing about today's marketplace is that there are no rules. There are such poles apart recommendations, sometimes contradictory, which confuse an aspiring entrepreneur, leader, speaker, consultant what to do and what not to do. Early in my career, I was having a discussion with fellow trainers and I told them I want to become a keynote speaker. Somebody told me, Vikas, keynote speakers are people with gray hairs. And what I did, as you can see, I stopped coloring my hair for some time because I actually had gray hairs. But that strategy did not work for me and did not help me in my journey to become world class. So let's share what is required to become world class, how the environment is. The environment currently is very fast changing. But let me challenge you with one thought. Is change too fast or are we too slow to learn? Because in the same fast changing environment, there are victims of change and winners due to change. Your strategy, your preparation, your calibration will decide where you want to be. So in this game without any rule, can there be a light at the end of a tunnel? Yes, there is a strategy, and today I'm going to share the same with you. And the name of this strategy is Vikas World Class Quadrant. Now you might be wondering, Vikas, you are good at branding. But actually it's not me, it's my parents who kept my name 37 years ago. Vikas in Sanskrit means development. Hence, this is a strategy to develop yourself and your brand to become world class in your industry. And that's what I learned during my journey of working with IBM and McAfee, and the same learning helped me crack the offer from Microsoft. But I wanted to share this strategy with the world to help aspiring brand and professionals to become world class in their industry. And since then, I have been delivering keynotes and sharing this through my books and other material. And with those keynotes, I'm able to reach out to world class brands and to help them further accelerate their journey. Talking about digital transformation, that is a key topic in today's time, especially in the post-pandemic area. The COVID-19 crisis has accelerated the digitization of customer interaction by several years. You can look at the gray bars and the black bars and the kind of acceleration that it received. But that is also true. When respondents were asked why their organization didn't implement these changes before the crisis, just over half said they weren't a top business priority. In that scenario, as per HBR, when executives were surveyed, they talked about the investment scale. Investment in digital reinvention was totaling more than $100 billion. So we can see there is good lot of investment happening in this sector. But talking about the research, that 70% of complex, large-scale change program don't reach their stated goal. So there is something wrong which is happening there. And let's see what is that thing. As per the same HBR study, many leaders reported poor return on digital investment due to unsuccessful efforts to scale digital innovation beyond early pilot work. So there are so many things which are happening. It's not just the game of intention and investment, because as we already see that it is already huge, but there is something else which is required for something to become the top. And that's something we are going to discuss today. And that thing is the world-class brand. And that is the quadrant where everybody is striving to get to the Gartner Magic Quadrant leadership panel. Now, let's discuss one by one about the three core parameters and factors which can help you become world class in your journey. And the first one being science behind world class brands. When we talk about world class brand, majority of the internet searches will point out about brand, that how you can do branding and marketing. But the focus of this presentation is the word world class. What is that thing that can help you become world class? And when we look at this quadrant, there are two dimensions. So I started my research that what is the perception of word world class in the mind of people. And I did this survey. What do you mean by world class? A, best in the world. B, very high quality and performance. C, world famous. Before I share my survey result, you can also note down your understanding of word world class so that when I show my survey result, you can see if your understanding is aligned with the masses perception. In the surveys, it was consistently shown that the world class means very high quality in the mind of people. Hence, on the x-axis of this quadrant, we put quality, and on y-axis, popularity, because any world-class brand has to be popular in the world. And with this combination of quality and popularity, we get this quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's understand each and every one of this quadrant one by one. The quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 are those companies and brands which are known for their highest quality and their popularity. In your industry, can you name some quadrants which are known for their high quality and popularity? You can write down in your notebook so that it leaves a longer impression in your mindset. And these are quadrant 1 companies as per this quadrant. Then there are quadrant 2 brands and companies which are known for average quality but high popularity. Thanks to their marketing team, they are very popular. But when we use that brand, the experience may not be that great because of the average or below average quality. Then we have quadrant 3 companies and brands in industry, which are first having average quality and second average or no popularity. And if you look closely, majority of the industry lies there. And here comes the magic quadrant, the quadrant 4. These are the brands and companies which are known for their highest quality, but they are not that popular in the industry. You can say that these are kind of companies which are in stealth mode, that only experienced professionals are known about these industries and these companies. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, you can think of it as room of requirement, which only appears to those who really need it. And that is a quadrant which divides the industry in such a manner that it gives you a strategy to become world class in your industry. As per my study, it is quite clear that after getting some success in quadrant 3, people try to go to quadrant 2 to get the right kind of popularity and start spending heavily on the marketing side. But when I closely studied the quadrant 1 companies, the companies which are market leaders, and look through their journey, the truth is something else. The majority of the quadrant 1 companies actually, even from the beginning, focused on developing their quality to the utmost. Hence, they followed the quadrant 4 approach. From quadrant 3, they moved to quadrant 4, which are known for their highest possible quality even when they are not that popular. And after getting some attraction, some strength in their brand, they move to quadrant 1. And the same thing resonates with this TED Talk by Manu Kumar Jain, Xiaomi India country head, where he talks about marketing without advertising, where he clearly showcased the similar thing, that these are the company which focused on product innovation more than their marketing. And hence, their founders choose to head the engineering department while delegating the organizational leadership to someone else. And that's their commitment to the quality of the product. Let's move to the next step. And the next step is mastermind behind that world class brand, which is their leadership. After my close study, it is quite clear that there is always a mastermind behind all these brands. Who can forget Steve Jobs behind Apple? And if you look at any other world class brand, there is always a mastermind behind that. When I studied these mastermind people, I started interviewing people like Alan Mamadi, founder of Truecaller, Frederick Herron, who is a global speaker, Brian Tracy, a management guru, and Suman Saraf, founder of BlueStack. And I repeatedly saw some deep connection of these people with the world class. Directly or indirectly, their focus on their quality of product is so high, which is very high compared to the marketing thing. For example, Matsushita, founder of Panasonic, had shown a 250 years plan during one such conference. That is the vision of these world class entrepreneurs. George Washington, as covered in his book, Self Education of George Washington, covers that his insatiable habit and commitment towards self education, which helped me in the long term. So, all these master people have achieved certain mastery, which I call deep leaders learning iceberg. So, what is visible from the top is just tip of that iceberg, whereas deeply these people are like walking learning magnet who are learning and reinventing themselves on a constant basis. When people hear the word learning, they usually receive a something small like ice cube, which is definitely not similar to what leaders think. Hence, if you want to really reinvent your brand, you need to keep reinventing your leadership team because that's a mindset behind that world class brand. Also, there is a close observation that many of these world class leaders are college dropout, but they are not learning dropout. So, we need to focus and instill that habit of deep learning within these leaders who are there to create world class brand, and that can happen through coaching and mentoring, which is one of the tools to develop these leaders. If you really want to get deeper into your site, you need to focus on all these aspects, and that same thing happened to me. I realized the role of mentoring early in my career. I watched a video with the name How to Be a Global Speaker. I was so interested in that video that I wrote an email to the person who delivered that talk, Frederick Herron, that I want to learn more from you. He replied, watch two other videos. I watched two other videos and replied back, I have watched those videos. How can I learn more from you? He said, read my blog. I read his blog, professionalspeaking.com, and there were 108 blogs which I completed in next 3 days and replied, how can I learn more from you? And he said, there is a conference happening in Singapore and I live in India. So you can come over to attend that conference in Singapore and we can have the discussion. And this is my image of my being attending that conference in Singapore. And you can see the theme of the conference was world class, which is a sheer coincidence or a guidance from the nature. But when your mentor is suggesting you to do something, are you taking those actions? Because to become world class, you have to keep reinventing yourself. And that famous statue in Akshardham temple in India is a reflection of the same intention. Keep reinventing yourself, keep crafting yourself. And that was the second secret, second factor to become world class, which was world class leadership. What is the third one? Third one is the talent, which focused on execution. How you can nurture world class talent in your organization. And for that, we again look at the similar quadrant, but with a difference. The difference now is when I studied these people who are working in such brands, I found out that the people in the Quadrant 1 and Quadrant 4 are usually having deep skill type of talent, whereas Professionals who are working in Quadrant 2 and Quadrant 3 type of companies are usually wide skilled talent. Let me help you understand what is the difference between deep skilled talent and wide skilled talent here. Netflix CEO talks about why they pay so much, close to 10 times to the professionals that they have hired. And the reason is because they are 10 times better than average. So there is something unique about these deep skilled talent which is attracting attention of all the top-notch entrepreneurs. There is a good book on art of computer programming written by Donnelly Nuth. The only thing which is very interesting about this book was Microsoft founder Bill Gates once said, if you think you are a really good programmer or if you want to challenge your knowledge, The Art of Computer Programming by Donald E. Knuth, and he recommended to read that book. And in the end, he also mentioned one more thing. If you can read the whole thing, send me a resume. Just imagine what is the conviction going behind there among these entrepreneurs about the expertise that they are looking for. Same way, Google CEO Larry Page was known for personally reviewing each and every recruit, even when the company became very large. That is the commitment of these people of hiring the world class talent. But when they are looking for world class talent, what they are actually looking for in them? When I did this research, I found out that one of the major thing is that differentiate between people with wide skill talent and deep skill talent are these. Wide skill talent usually focus on tools and technology, whereas deep skill talent usually focus on fundamental science. For example, in the digital world, when wide skill talent is only talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data sciences, the deep skill talent is also focusing upon the mathematics, the statistics, and the algorithms behind them. The wide skill talent usually focus on delivery and getting things done, whereas deep skill talent rigorously focus upon the excellence, innovation. They are found to be very high on their learnability as well as learning agility, and they are usually self-managed. These are only some of those traits. But if you are looking for more traits, you can contact me through the email, which I'll share later. And when we talk about developing world-class talent, there is altogether well-established science behind that. And you might have heard about the Polgar experiment, where he raised three of his daughters and all of them became the grandmaster in chess. That is the science behind becoming world-class. And what works in one industry also works in another industry, which is the science to become world-class in your industry. The same quadrant is also sharing some deep insights from world-class quadrant. There are many that number of market players, the world-class scoring and self-assessment system. There are other ways of looking at the same framework, the talent within each organization, which can further grow into these aspects. If you are really interested in learning all this, you can book a 30-minute consultation, complimentary session with me, or you can write me an email or connect me with through LinkedIn, Twitter, and other social media. If you really want to know how these people are nurtured, how to nurture that kind of talent and leaders, and how to develop and use the world-class quadrant for your brand to make it become world-class. Do you want to know the final secret to become world-class? Come closer. Do you really want to know the final secret to become world-class? Yes, the final secret is being world-class is not a destination. It is a journey. And join me in this journey of becoming world-class in your industry and fly like eagle. Thank you.